Let me introduce myself. I am Achmad Rizky Pranata from Management Class 23C with NPM 234111015. Today I will present material on the topic of occupational health and safety in offices, or what we commonly know as K3. This topic is very important, especially for the secretary profession, who is at the forefront of administrative and coordination activities. The purpose of this presentation is for all of us to be more aware and understand how to maintain a safe, healthy, and productive work environment. Occupational health and safety, or K3, is very important for all professions, including for secretaries. In an organizational structure, secretaries are often the center of various administrative activities, communication, and coordination between departments. Every day, secretaries must carry out tasks that require precision, concentration, and physical and mental endurance. Therefore, a safe and healthy work environment is the main requirement for a secretary to be able to work optimally and sustainably. By implementing K3 principles, we not only prevent physical work accidents such as slipping or tripping over cables, but also prevent health problems due to sitting too long, inappropriate lighting, and work pressure that can cause stress. In the long term, implementing K3 can extend productive work periods and prevent work-related diseases, such as muscle pain, visual impairment, or mental fatigue. In addition, it is also important to realize that K3 is not only about individual safety, but also concerns the company's responsibility to its employees. In Indonesia, K3 has been regulated in Law No. 1 of 1970 concerning occupational safety, which requires every workplace to meet certain safety standards and provide protection to its workers. This means that the company has a legal obligation to ensure a safe and healthy working environment for all its employees, including secretaries. In terms of benefits, a working environment that implements K3 well has been proven to increase comfort and job satisfaction. Secretaries who feel safe and supported will be more focused on carrying out their duties, more efficient in managing work, and of course contribute to increasing the productivity of the organization as a whole. So, we can conclude that K3 is not an addition, but a basic need for a professional secretary. With a good understanding and application of K3, secretaries can carry out their roles optimally while maintaining their own health and safety. After understanding the importance of implementing K3 for secretaries, the next step is to recognize the various risks and potential hazards that may occur in the office work environment. Because only by recognizing it clearly, we can take the right precautions. Although the office atmosphere seems far from dangerous compared to workplaces such as factories or construction sites, the fact is that the office still has various health and safety risks that are often hidden and unnoticed. These risks can be divided into three main categories: physical, chemical/biological, and psychosocial. First, let's look at physical risks. This includes simple things like cables scattered on the floor, open desk drawers, or slippery floor surfaces. These types of risks can cause incidents such as tripping, slipping, or falling. In addition, incorrect working posture due to non-ergonomic chairs or poor sitting positions can cause problems with muscles and bones, especially the back, neck, and wrists. Dim or too bright lighting can also affect eye health and reduce work concentration. Second, there are chemical and biological hazards that should not be ignored. Although not directly visible, long-term exposure to mild chemicals such as cleaning fluids, printer ink, or photocopier toner can have adverse effects on respiratory and skin health. On the biological side, poor hygiene in shared spaces such as office kitchens or toilets can also become a breeding ground for bacteria or viruses that can easily spread to other employees. Third, and often the most overlooked, is the psychosocial risk. A stressful work environment, tight deadlines, lack of communication between teams, and excessive expectations from superiors can trigger prolonged stress. If not handled properly, this stress can develop into serious mental health disorders, such as anxiety, emotional exhaustion, or even depression. Therefore, as secretaries, we must have the sensitivity to recognize each of these potential dangers, both visible and invisible. By understanding the various types of risks in the office, we can be better prepared to create solutions that are not only reactive, but also proactive in building a safe and healthy work environment for all. Once we recognize the various risks lurking in the office environment, the next logical step is to prepare an effective prevention strategy. This is where ergonomic principles come into play, because the best prevention begins with the way we organize our space and our daily work habits. Let's start with a brief definition. Ergonomics is the science of adapting work, tools, and environments to human capabilities and limitations. For a secretary who spends most of her time in front of a computer, ergonomics not only affects comfort, but also determines long-term health. The first step is to ensure ideal body posture. The chair should support the lower back. The height of the chair is adjusted so that the knees are level with the hips, and the soles of the feet are flat on the floor or footrest. The position of the arms should form a 90-degree angle at the elbows, while the wrists remain neutral when typing, neither bent up nor down. The monitor is placed in line with the line of sight, about arm's length away, so that the neck is not bent or tilted forward for too long. This simple adjustment drastically reduces the risk of back pain, shoulder tension, and carpal tunnel syndrome. Next, pay attention to lighting and air quality. Use a combination of natural light and a desk lamp with an appropriate lux level so that your eyes don't get tired quickly. Avoid screen glare by placing the monitor perpendicular to the window, or install an anti-glare filter if necessary. Make sure the ventilation system is working properly. Good air circulation not only minimizes afternoon drowsiness, but also reduces exposure to dust and fine particles from printers and photocopiers. We also need to manage equipment and cables. Install a cable organizer or cable cover on the floor to prevent the risk of tripping. Check electrical plugs and terminals at least once a month, especially if we use a lot of electronic devices such as laptops, gadget chargers, and laminating machines. Remember, a small short circuit on the secretary's desk can lead to a major fire if ignored. Speaking of personal protective equipment, in the office it may not be as obvious as a helmet or safety shoes, but it is still important. For example, blue light protection glasses help reduce eye fatigue for those who work in front of a screen for more than 4 hours a day. Wrist rest gel prevents excessive pressure on the wrist, while noise-canceling headsets are useful in open workspaces to maintain concentration without increasing the volume of sound. To ensure all of these preventive measures are sustainable, establish a routine inspection SOP. Create a weekly checklist to review monitor position, desk cleanliness, and cable condition. Include monthly inspections for emergency lights, fire alarms, and air conditioners or air purifiers. Involve the entire workforce, not just the facilities team, so everyone feels responsible for safety. After ensuring that the work environment is ergonomically designed and safe, we still need one more layer of protection, a clear preparedness system and policies. Prevention is important, but it is the ability to respond in an emergency that saves lives and company assets. First, let's talk about emergency preparedness. Every office should have an evacuation route map posted at strategic points, complete with emergency lights and signs that light up even during a power outage. As secretaries, we must ensure that these routes are always clear of obstructions. No filing boxes, chairs, or plants should be in the way. Conduct a quick inspection once a week. This small act of awareness can shave crucial minutes off evacuation time. Evacuation drills should be scheduled at least twice a year, covering scenarios such as fire, earthquake, and total power outages. During the drill, the secretary plays a vital role in recording how long the evacuation process takes, who is left behind, and which parts are still stuck. This data is then used to improve the next procedure, because a drill without evaluation is just a formality. Second, let's touch on the OHS policy document. Ideally, a company should have an OHS manual that contains safety standards, workers' rights and obligations, incident reporting procedures, and disciplinary sanctions. This manual should be socialized through new employee onboarding and stored in the cloud for easy access. The secretary's job is to ensure the latest version is always available, mark when revisions are made, and distribute policy change notifications. Next, an incident reporting system. A zero-accident culture does not mean covering up incidents, but rather encouraging fearless reporting. Prepare a simple digital form that employees can fill out in 5 minutes. Just describe the incident, location, and causal factors. The secretary then forwards the report to the OHS team and management for further analysis. This transparency helps map accident trends and design corrective actions before problems recur. Equally important, safety equipment must be checked regularly. Portable fire extinguishers, APR, have their cylinder pressure checked every month. First aid kits are refilled according to the expiration date of the medicine. Fire alarms and smoke detectors are tested for function at least once a month. The secretary can create a maintenance calendar, who inspects what, when, and how the report is. Finally, safety literacy. Posters of CPR procedures, how to use APER, and emergency contacts, firefighters, ambulances, police, should be displayed in public areas such as the lobby, pantry, and photocopy room. Now that we understand the importance of policies and preparedness in creating a safe workplace, it's time to highlight the role of who is on the front lines to ensure all these systems run effectively. The answer is the secretary. Not only as an administrative liaison, the secretary also holds a strategic position in supporting the implementation of K3 in the work environment. In a modern organizational structure, the secretary is no longer just an agenda taker or schedule organizer. The role of the secretary has evolved into a communication facilitator, cross-department liaison, and guardian of the integrity of the administrative system, including in terms of occupational health and safety. This is where the strategic role of the secretary becomes very important. First, the secretary acts as a driver of K3 culture in the office. This starts from small things like reminding coworkers not to put items on evacuation routes, rearranging less ergonomic work desks, to ensuring that emergency procedure posters remain properly installed. Through a persuasive and professional approach, the secretary helps instill K3 awareness in employees' daily routines without appearing patronizing. Second, the secretary also acts as a manager of K3 data and documentation. All work incident reports, inspection checklists, and K3 training schedules are usually stored and controlled by the secretariat. Accuracy in storing and updating this data is very important, because any negligence can result in a slow response when an emergency occurs. In addition, good K3 documentation is also needed when internal and external audits are taking place. Third, the secretary has a strategic position in conveying new information and policies from management to all staff. Because they are in direct contact with the leadership and all divisions, the secretary can bridge the delivery of instructions quickly and accurately. For example, if there is a new procedure related to preventing COVID-19 or a disaster response protocol, the secretary plays an important role in compiling an official circular, distributing it to all divisions, and ensuring that all parties understand its contents. Fourth, the secretary can also be the coordinator of K3 training or simulation activities, working with the security team, HRD team, or even external sources. With the ability to manage time, make official invitations, and compile event rundowns, the secretary ensures that all K3 activities run orderly and have maximum impact. Finally, even in an emergency, the secretary is expected to remain calm and alert. Because of their multitasking skills and calm under pressure, secretaries can be information points, incident recorders, or even communications officers for outside parties such as hospitals or rescue teams. From the urgency of OHS for secretaries, to identifying physical, chemical, biological, and psychosocial risks, to ergonomic strategies, preparedness, and supporting policies, it all boils down to one goal: creating a safe, healthy, and productive work environment. As secretaries, we are not just keepers of calendars and files. We are the guardians of safety who ensure every procedure is carried out, every document is recorded, and every coworker is protected. This responsibility requires precision, effective communication, and a high level of moral commitment. Remember these three keywords as a daily guide: recognize, prevent, respond. Recognize every potential hazard, no matter how small. Prevent through ergonomic arrangements, regular training, and SOP compliance. Respond with proven emergency procedures and orderly documentation. With a proactive attitude and cooperation from all parties, we can reduce accident rates, reduce stress, and improve overall organizational performance. OHS is not an additional burden, but an investment that guarantees the health, reputation, and desires of the company. In closing, I would like to thank the lecturers and all fellow students who have followed this presentation with full attention. Hopefully, this material on occupational health and safety can increase our insight, especially for prospective secretaries who will play an important role in creating a safe, orderly, and productive work environment. Finally, if there are any shortcomings or errors in the delivery, I apologize profusely. Hopefully, we can all benefit from today's learning and apply it in our professional lives in the future. Thank you, and see you next time. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.